James Charles is back in the headlines, but this time it's not just about scandal. It's about silence. A silence that's becoming harder and harder to ignore. While the internet explodes with accusations and receipts, James is choosing to sit this one out. And let me tell you, people are not here for it. If you thought his past controversies were messy, buckle up because this one's got TikTok, abuse allegations, shady friendships, and fans seriously questioning his morals. Here's what's going down. A TikTok creator named Kayla Malik, who's known for her fun content, her collabs with Spencer's, and yes, even some videos with James Charles himself, dropped a 2-hour bombshell on YouTube. She accused her ex-boyfriend, influencer Evan Johnson, of serious domestic violence during their relationship. Then, just days later, she posted a nearly 2-hour follow-up. These weren't vague subtweets or crying on the floor videos. She came with details, timelines, emotion, and the internet paid attention. People flooded TikTok and Reddit to support her, and it didn't take long for the story to catch fire. Shortly after Kayla's video went up, Evan Johnson was arrested. Not for what she accused him of, but for violating probation and other prior charges. Still, the timing was enough to raise 1,000 eyebrows. Then came Zach Surs, another TikToker who claimed his own cousin also had a relationship with Evan back in 2023 and experienced similar toxic behavior. Zach didn't just say, "I believe Kayla." No, he came with receipts. He posted a video series backing her up, revealing that he personally knew Evan through the modeling scene and had footage of him from February 2025, months before Kayla's full video even dropped. In this footage, Evan tried to play the victim. He framed their entire relationship as toxic on both sides and tried to spin the story like he was the one being unfairly painted.
So this video, part one of the videos he had me take back in February of him explaining his side of the story, and it will show you how badly manipulated I was and the reason, I was there for him through the breakup because how he had me manipulated so badly. After you guys, see all the parts and see these videos and receipts, y'all will definitely understand. And I also have text messages and stuff between me and him that are going to be coming out soon also.
Let's be clear. Evan didn't come off as someone owning his actions. He came off as someone trying to save face. He said Kayla exaggerated. He said she was texting him post-breakup like nothing happened. Basically, he tried to make it sound like she was fabricating the whole thing for views. And when Zach dropped even more videos and texts where Evan was defending himself, he didn't stay neutral. He said flat out that Evan was manipulating him and everyone around him.
Getting into modeling, right? And after that, she was hitting me up saying how much she misses me. Like, after we're broken up, I post like 2 little snippets of I'm getting into modeling, and this is my modeling buddy right here. And I was like, I'm getting into modeling, and then we text each other throughout the day, like how our day is going and stuff like that. I'm not manipulating her. I'm not like, I want you back or any of this. I'm like, I need to focus on myself. And she texts me. And people call that like trauma bond and stuff like that. The 9 months we were together, she said the whole 9 months I was abusing her, right? Why would we go out all the time and do all these crazy adventurous stuff if the whole time it was just terrible? If I was this terrible guy, why would she be with me? She could have left me at any second. She's way more up there than me. She has more money. Like, all this stuff, she don't need me. And if she figured I was no good for her in the time being, she would have left immediately. I promise you that. She exaggerates. And she figured out her views, or she's like, I need to make a series. I need to do something. And now that me and her are broken up, it's like, does she really love me? Like, she's saying what she does behind the scenes to me. Like, I love you, I miss you, all this stuff behind the scenes, but then goes on there and tells you guys a whole different fantasy tale. I don't understand it.
And now, here's where it gets jaw-dropping. Zach claims that at the end of February, while Evan was already under fire from Kayla's followers and people were whispering about his alleged behavior, he went to California and stayed at James Charles's house. Not for a night, for almost a week, February 28th to March 3rd. And Zach knows this because he was still talking to Evan at the time. And Evan, he sent Zach a message saying that James told him to stay quiet no matter what.
Evan flew to California to see and stay with JC on February 28th. He stayed until March 3rd. He was supposed to come home on Sunday, but got talked into staying an extra night so they could have, one last night to, hang out and rest and just chill around the home. I know that just because I was in contact the whole time with Evan while he was in California, and I knew a lot of information. at that time. I received a message from Evan while he was in California, because he was already like acting like he was like all like, you know, just the stuff pretty much, because who he was staying the night with multiple nights, and you know, whatever went on at JC's house. So the message, I do have everything, receipts, but the message that goes along with this was the lines of, this is coming from Evan: "But since she has such a huge fan base, it's really hard to get my truth out. JC told me to be quiet as long as I can, no matter what."
Excuse me? This wasn't some rando crashing at a friend's place. This was Evan actively being called out for abuse, flying across the country to stay with the same influencer who had publicly collaborated with Kayla. And James allegedly told him to keep his mouth shut? That's not just messy, that's suspicious. It gets worse. Zach says that Kayla actually called James while Evan was at his place and asked if Evan was with him. And what did James say? He allegedly lied, said number, said he had no idea where Evan was, all while Evan was literally sitting next to him. Now remember, Zach claims James and Kayla weren't just acquaintances. He says they were close, friends. So if that's true, then James didn't just lie. He protected someone his friend said hurt her. And listen, we're not even getting into the fact that Evan is 20 and James's past involves a whole lot of shady situations with young guys. This isn't ancient history. This is a new chapter in a very old pattern. It doesn't stop there. After Zach posted his videos calling out the situation, James allegedly slid into his DMs asking him to take them down. Not to deny what was said, not to clarify, just to say, "Hey, Coachella is really busy for me right now. Can we talk later?" Sir, this is not about your festival schedule. This is about you possibly helping an alleged abuser hide out while his ex is publicly grieving what she says he put her through.
JC has reached out to me through DMs on Instagram. I have not posted any of that. One of those DMs, I mean, I have paperwork. I have to move that really fast. There's lots of paperwork. I have everything together. But one thing was, he said on Sunday. So he sent this on Sunday, the first video, you know, I went, you know, public with, not even 5 minutes. And he's like over here, like, DMing me, like, all kinds of paragraphs and crazy stuff. And then I was confronting him, like, you know, bro, like, I know everything. And now he knows that I know everything. And I feel like, you know, that's why he's hushed up. And, you know, he's trying to keep everything, like, out of, like, the light. But he was saying, "I'd really appreciate if you could take down your videos until we have an opportunity to talk. Sorry again, it took me so long to see your message. Coachella is the busiest time of the year for me."
And Zach? He wasn't having it. He went on TikTok and called James out directly. He brought up FaceTime calls where James was allegedly gassing Evan up, mocking Kayla, and acting like Evan had somehow won the breakup. He talked about DMS. He mentioned photos James allegedly sent Evan. And remember, Zach was still friends with Evan at the time. He says he saw all of it. That's why this is bigger than a he said, she said. The screenshots are coming. The videos are already out. And James, still radio silent.
So James, I'm calling you out. Let's talk about whenever we were in the car and you were FaceTiming, you know, Evan all the time. You remember the time when you were just talking about how fat your AS was? You remember talking so badly and poorly about Kayla and pretty much hyping Evan up that he wasn't in the wrong, that he won out of this? Like, let's talk about the time when we were on FaceTime and then you hung up and then you sent a message on Instagram and says, "I have a big surprise for you when you get home." Just remember, I went home with Evan, so I saw everything. You remember the photos you sent? Multiple photos.
Fans are spiraling. People are flooding James's Instagram with comments, only for those comments to magically disappear. That's right. Users are saying James is deleting any comment that mentions Evan, Kayla, or this entire mess, which, if true, says more than any public statement could. Zach says James was told about what happened to Kayla the same day she ended things with Evan. He says James made a shady joke. "Can I have him now?" and later pretended like he had no contact with Evan at all. Then, allegedly, turned around and invited him over. People are furious, not just because James hasn't said anything, but because of what that silence seems to mean. People are asking, how are you going to pretend to support women, profit from being an ally, and then protect the guy your friend said hurt her? Even if James thought Evan was innocent, the right thing would have been to step back, not invite him into your home, hide his presence, and try to silence people who were trying to warn others. It's the same pattern we've seen before: the manipulative friendships, the younger guys, the PR-friendly silence when things get bad, the carefully curated Instagram stories about makeup and outfits, while the real drama simmers under the surface. And fans, they're tired. They're not buying the brand anymore. Not the gloss, not the spin, not the carefully worded apologies that never actually address anything. And here's the real tea. The longer James stays quiet, the louder the noise is getting. People are putting the pieces together. They're watching the videos, they're sharing their own stories, and they're starting to see a pattern that's impossible to ignore. So, what happens now? That's the question everyone's asking. Is James finally going to speak up? Will he try to twist the narrative, say he was manipulated too, or play the clueless card again? Or will he just keep ignoring it all and hope it disappears like every other scandal? Time will tell, but if he thinks this one's going away, he might want to think again. Because the internet hasn't forgotten. And this time, it looks like they're not letting it go. So what do you think? Was James just caught in the middle, or does his silence speak volumes? Let us know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe for more tea, and keep those receipts ready. Because baby, this story is far from over.